What we're seeing is that this 2020 economic slowdown is making the rich richer, the poor poorer, and it is wiping out the middle class. What's up everybody, I am Jaspreet Singh and welcome to the Minority Mindset. Some people should make more money than others. If Bunty and George are both in the guacamole business and Bunty makes delicious guacamole and George makes nasty guacamole that nobody wants to buy, Bunty will and should make more money than George. You wouldn't want to live in a world where everybody makes the same amount of money. I mean, if that was the case, then what's your incentive to make better guacamole? But what's interesting is that in 2009, we saw some of the biggest wealth inequality in decades, and now because of this 2020 economic crisis, the rich will get even richer, the poor will get even poorer, and the middle class will become a thing of the past. That's why in this video, I want to talk about what's going on to create this widening gap between the rich and the poor. And you want to make sure you watch this video until the end because you want to know how you can end up on the rich side. But before we get into that, hit that thumbs up button below because if you don't, then YouTube doesn't share our video with anybody else. Subscribe to the Minority Mindset YouTube channel. That way you don't miss our new financial education videos every single week. And hit that little notification bell too, because if you don't, then YouTube won't let you know when our new videos are released. Unlike what a lot of people on social media say, wealth inequality is normal, and when done correctly, it's actually good. Doctors should earn a higher salary than a cashier because, well, it takes more time, effort, and skill to become a doctor than it does to become a cashier. This isn't me trying to hate on cashiers. I used to be a cashier when I worked at Auntie Anne's Pretzels back in the day. I would run the cashier like a boss. I would make pretzels and do everything all at once because my manager would just be sitting on the phone the whole time. But I didn't expect to make a doctor's salary. Wealth inequality itself really isn't the issue because you should be compensated based on the value that you provide. But what's happening is we as a society are lacking financial education, and this lack of financial education is making it harder and harder for certain people just to survive. That's why people keep talking about wealth inequality, because now we are reaching dangerous levels of wealth inequality. So I like to start my days with a 5-mile walk before the sun rises. And when I'm walking, I like to listen to audiobooks, and one audiobook I just finished was a book by Ray Dalio, who is the founder of a hedge fund called Bridgewater, which is one of the most successful hedge funds of all time, and Ray Dalio is also one of the wealthiest people in the world. One of the reasons why his hedge fund has been so successful is because his company looks at every detail, every financial market way into history, because they use this historical data that they gather to predict what's coming next, because history repeats itself. In one section of his book, he talked about how dangerous levels of wealth inequality always lead to big changes, whether it's a major policy change or a big revolution or a movement, something happens. Well, in 2019, we saw the biggest gap in wealth inequality in 50 years. And now, because of what's happening in 2020, we're probably going to see a huge spike in wealth inequality. Normally, discussions like this get people bogged down and really angry into the politics of wealth inequality, but that's not where I want to go. I want to talk strictly about the financials of wealth inequality. That way you can come out of this on the winning side financially. When this 2020 crisis happened, the government came out and they started printing trillions of dollars. That way they could hand out stimulus checks to people, unemployment checks to people, and bailouts for corporations. Your money only has value if you use it. Like, if you save all your money, then it's just a digit in your bank account. I mean, yeah, you need to have some savings for a cushion, but it's just sitting there sleeping. But when you go to the mall and you buy that $600 Gucci scarf, now you're using your money. Yeah, using my money to make me look sweet. I didn't say you were using it in a good way, but you are using your money. The thing is, the majority of people have a consumer mindset. When they get money, they need to spend it. And then when they spend it on things that lose them value, like Gucci. What you saying about my scarf? It's not just name brand stuff though, it's all stuff. Your cars, your shoes, your iPhone, your TV, all of these are consumer expenses. As soon as you spend your money on these things, this stuff, your money is gone, and so is your chance for building wealth. But your money is making somebody wealthy. It's just not you. Your money is making the producer of these products. So the car maker, the shoe maker, Apple, the TV company, Gucci, your bank, rich. For them, your stuff is an investment making them rich. For you, your stuff is an expense leaving you broke. Our whole economy is built around spending. Every day you hear about it on the news. How strong is consumer spending? How easy is consumer lending? How accessible is credit? Well, all these things fuel people just to spend, spend, spend. Now look, of course you need to spend money. I'm not telling you to go and sit in a box and live there for the rest of your life. I want you to be able to buy and afford all the nice things you want. That's why you work so hard. That way you can buy all the nice things that you want, but we're never taught how to use our money the right way. Wealthy people spend money and they have nice stuff, cool cars, nice clothes, but what they understand is that before you can go and start shopping at the Gucci store, you gotta make sure that you pay money and spend money on yourself first. That means before you do anything else, put money aside for your savings and put money aside for your investments that will make you more money, and then, only then, can you go out and spend money on things that will lose you money. You can blame whoever you want. Politicians, corruption, big businesses, banks, it doesn't matter. I mean, these people are gonna argue about it until the end of time without making a difference. You need to understand how to use your money the right way, because at the end of the day, if you don't know how to spend less than what you make, it doesn't matter how much money you make. You are going to be broke. The reason why this is so important now is because, well, it's gonna get worse. In 2020, when the great lockdown started, businesses shut down, people didn't have incomes, and people did not have money to eat, which is horrible news. So the government came in and they printed trillions of dollars to fund stimulus checks, unemployment checks, and bailouts. Well, when the majority of people got this money, guess what happened? They invested it? No, they spent it. Obviously, if you don't have money and if you don't have food, you need to buy groceries. I mean, that's reality. But the reality also is that all this free money was printed and it was given to people, and then it was spent at Amazon and Whole Foods or used with their bank to finance something else. So all this money was printed and then it was given to people, and the people spent this money at businesses or they paid off their bank, and then they spent nothing on themselves. Whoa, wait, Jasprit, isn't buying Gucci spending money on myself? No. You might feel like you're treating yourself when you go shop at Gucci, but the real people that you're treating are the Gucci shareholders. So what happened was trillions and trillions of dollars were printed, and it was given to people thinking that they were being helped, and then people spent this money, and all this money that was printed flowed right up to the top 1% of people. To put it in perspective, think of it this way. Imagine we're in a new world where there are only 100 total dollars in existence, and you, being the big shot you are, you own one of those dollars. So now you control 1% of the world's wealth, the world's currency, the world's buying power, whatever you want to call it, and you own 1% of this 100. So then when people hear your name, they think big shot, they think wealthy, they think delicious. Well, if you were walking home from your big shot office one day and you were walking and you saw on the news that the government is printing another $100, well, now you don't own 1% of the world's wealth, you own half of 1% of the world's wealth, because you own $1 and now you still only own $1, and now there are $200 in the world. The amount of dollars that you have didn't change, but the amount of dollars out there in the world did. That's exactly what's happening around us right now. People think that this free money is making them richer, but it's actually making them poorer, because all this free money is being printed, which is making a bigger pot of money out there, and then people get this money, but they're not spending it on themselves to make themselves wealthier. They're spending it at businesses to make them wealthier. So yeah, we have a bigger pot of money, and then it gets spent and it gets flowed right to the top 1%. And so now we have a bigger pile of money up here and a much smaller pile of money, or even the same size money before. Now, even if you have the same amount of money as before, you're less wealthy than before because, well, you have less of the world's buying power. Here's the thing, financial illiteracy is very profitable. But this is just the first part. It gets a little bit worse once you actually understand how our dollars work, and I'm gonna get to that in just a second. But this is why financial education is so important, because everybody thinks, oh, well, I can't take advantage of the system because of one reason or another, but you really don't need $1 million or $100,000 to take advantage of this. You can start with just $100. If you want to be a winner in this system, you have to shift your mindset from the consumer mindset of just spending money on things that just lose you money and lose you value, to buying things that will make you money. That way you can benefit when everybody's spending their money on things. This is what financial education is all about. And I'm not going to go over that in this video, but if you do want to learn more about money management and investing, that way you can actually use your money the right way, well, we have a free ebook on money management and investing that you can read for free when you sign up for our financial education emails, which are also free. You can get a free ebook and our education emails by clicking the link up here or by clicking the link in the description below. By the way, our financial education emails are different from our financial news emails. The next thing you want to understand is what happens to our dollars when all this free money gets printed. Our money, or what we call money, is just paper. I mean, our dollars aren't backed by gold or silver or anything tangible. It costs 12 cents to print this $100 bill, but this bill has more value than that because, well, the government says it has value. But have you ever wondered why this bill, this $100 right here, could buy you so much more in 1970 than it can today? I mean, $100 in 1970 could buy you 700% more than what it can in 2020. Why? It's because the amount of value or buying power that each dollar has isn't a straight line. It changes and it depends on supply and demand. When more of these dollars are printed, then the amount of dollars out there is higher, so you have a higher supply of dollars. And this higher supply of dollars means that the value of each individual dollar, or the buying power of each individual dollar, comes down. And if the buying power of each individual dollar comes down, that means the price of things have to go up. That's what inflation is, and that's why the price of your extra guac keeps going up. Now, inflation isn't something that just happens overnight. It is a slow and gradual shift, so the majority of people don't even see it happen, but it's making the majority of people poorer and poorer each and every day. Well, now we're printing dollars faster than ever before, and it's being handed out like candy to corporations with bailouts and unemployment benefits and stimulus checks. And where's all this money ending up? Up here to the people who actually understand money. So it's kind of like a mushroom where all this money was spread out in different places, but it's just funneling all its way to the top to people here who understand money, which is why I want you to be over here, one of those people who understand the game. And if you don't understand the game or understand how money works and understand this financial education, then you're going to be left with less dollars. And each dollar that you do have is going to have less buying power and less value than it did before. Right now, the majority of people are working hard to earn dollars and save dollars, thinking that it's the right thing to do because that's what we're taught to do. But what we're not being told is that the value of our earnings and our savings are dropping a little bit each and every day. And now, to top it off, our savings are literally not doing anything because the Federal Reserve Bank slashed interest rates all the way down to zero. And so now most traditional banks are paying you nothing on your savings. Now you're stuck. Your savings aren't doing anything. Your earnings are worth less. And all this money keeps floating to the top. So you have less dollars. And on top of that, each dollar that you do have has less buying power than it did 10 years ago. And then in order to combat this, the majority of people turn to debt. That way they can maintain their certain lifestyle. And so now not only do you have less money, but you have to pay more money in interest to your bank. It's not going to end up well, which is why you need to start paying yourself before you go out and you pay Gucci or you pay for that extra guac or anything else, because you need to spend your money on the right things that are going to grow. That way you can get the benefit of the system instead of getting screwed over by the system. Again, if you do want to learn more about this financial education, we have a free ebook and emails in the description below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, share it with one friend. That way we can help spread the word. If you want to learn more about what you should buy during this 2020 crisis to build wealth, well, we already made a video on it, and you can watch this video on YouTube by clicking this button right over here. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.